What's going on, everyone? It's Eman here from the C-List Villains podcast, and today, Mailcall. Now, before we get started, do me a favor, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you guys get notified anytime I drop any one of these new videos. So today we have a very, very special Mailcall video. Number one, it's another live session. And number two, we have one of the most amazing artists in the industry. We have one of the bestest guys out there, and honestly, one of the top-notch, just good friend of the C-List Villains podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce to you our friend, the man, not the myth, the dude himself. I'm talking about our boy, Mr. John Giang. What's going on, John? John?
Hello.
There you are. Such an awesome intro.
Getting through our technical difficulties.
You didn't leave me, did you? You didn't leave me.
Can you
How
hear
you
me?
doing, man?
Good. How are you, E-Man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. I see you're going out for your jogs out there in San Francisco, getting your sun in, getting your exercise on. And recently you've done some appearances, right? Over the last few months, you were actually able to finally get out on the con scene, right?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to kind of get back out there, get life somewhat back to normal and everything like that through obviously the pandemic and all that stuff, but just trying to keep it fun, keep it accessible, keep it still safe, and kind of a good blend of all of those things.
I know some of the guys that are going to be joining in later on, they saw you at C2E2 and they're like, oh my God, it's John, look like hashtag John Giang, which I know our boy Mark from Legion of Comics.
Yes.
He's the guy that started the whole hashtag John or Giang Gang thing, and I absolutely love it. It's everywhere right now.
I love it. I can't tell you guys how much especially as an artist, we're kind of like always holed up and doing our art and kind of like in the caves and of our studios and everything like that, and it's really nice to kind of like go back out and see the world and interact with folks and things like that, and to know that the art that you're doing is well received and it's bringing a lot of joy to folks. It's an amazing experience to be a part of. So I'm always very appreciative whenever people swing by and just give a chat and whatnot. So I love it. It's such a energizing experience for sure.
Oh, I'm glad. Speaking about shout outs, let's go ahead and give some shout outs to some people that are in the chat right now. Look at this. Our boy Ruby G, White Tiger, Cool Comic Collector, Cowabunga Fam. Look at that. Hashtag
What's up, White Tiger?
All over the place right there. Our boys over there at the C-List Villains podcast. Yes, Fred, I am late. I get it. I know. Mark from Legion of Comics.
Mark, what's up?
And see, look at that. Hashtag Jane Gig. Yes, Ashton, I am late. This is called Filipino time, just like what Red over here says right here.
Ashton was
our friend Digger Jim is in the house. Hey,
what's
everyone.
up, Digger?
Man, I love it. There's some people. Oh, look at this. And the House of Nerds shows up in here too.
What's going on? What's up, guys?
Look at this. Our boy Steve, Hip Hops and Me, Team Nerd Herds in the house.
Nice,
what's up,
nice,
John?
Nice.
My boy Ryan B from the Foul Mouth Nerds is up in here too. Look at this. And look, even Ephraim from Past Point One Comics is up in here.
Nice.
I love, like, everyone. They didn't come for me, John. They came for you. I'm here for the John. And here's
no. I paid them ahead of time to come and enjoy the show and everything like that, and and then they were like, well, E-Man's going to be on the show, so that was I ended up not paying them, so you know what I'm saying. So they came to see you.
Just because you said that you attempted to pay them, I owe you a nice little vegetable slushy one of these days.
That sounds disgusting, first of all.
Well, we got 3 packages here that we're going to be opening up, John. And what we're doing here is basically I'm going to open up. I don't know which one's which, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We're gonna open these up, and these are all yours, man. This is
Oh,
your
nice.
art. This is what's brought joy to a lot of us in the community. And speaking about people in the community, see, there's two things that you started, John. Number one, hashtag John Giang, which was penned by Mark.
I
And we
love it.
were actually able to use your hashtag NDA face over the weekend when we interviewed Brandon Brothers, because they had some stuff that they couldn't talk about. And we're like, that looks like an NDA face. That looks like a John Giang NDA. I can't talk about this project face on TV. So, like, you've
I love
started
it.
some stuff, my friend. You've
I
started
love
some
it.
stuff. It's
We you know, like I said, we want to just blast it, but you guys like to get us in trouble, so you know what I mean. So we're not gonna do that.
look, we don't get you guys in trouble on purpose. We're definitely, digging around for information.
Anything for the story, right? Anything for the
Anything for
story.
this story, but you know what? It's still completely up to you how much information you're able to give us. I just still remember the very first NDA face when you were just straight, okay. I was
I'm a terrible poker player. Just to let you know.
no, you were holding it up. It was hilarious. You held it up. You're like, I nothing right now. John, my friend, I know we don't have too much time with you, and I'm gonna get to these packages right here. So let's go ahead and get
Let's
things
do it.
started, all right. So we're gonna start off with this package. This one is from Carnivore Comics.
Oh, nice.
Do you remember which one is the one that came from Carnivore by any chance in the world, John?
I don't remember. Maybe that's not a good thing. First of all, I'm getting old. That's one thing. The other thing is I do a lot of covers with folks, and I don't want to set expectations. So we'll see what we got. And a part of it is that this is the first time I'm actually getting to experience this, where you guys are getting to open up these comics and experience that joy during the bubble wrap thing.
I love opening up boxes. I just start throwing boxes like, this one's open. I like this one. So check this out. So Carnivore went ahead and sent me one of their stickers.
Oh, nice.
So I'm copying. So for the people out there that know DJ Links, I'm starting to copy his idea. I got these two new desks, one in front of me, one behind me, and I'm going to start laying stickers on this front desk. So like right now,
nice.
I'm placing this one right here. It's going on right here, right.
And of course, we got a hashtag Carnivore Comics. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Hashtag them, because they're on point. They're on point. Who else? Look who else showed up. My friendly neighborhood. My daughter, she showed up. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Hey, Lauren.
I love the fact that you are here. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate. Represent Primo. Look at that. Look at it. Look, Red gets mad as always. I didn't prep his boxes. This is my thing, though. Red. This is my show. I open it right here live, so that way you guys see the joy of me doing it. So
it's spontaneous. It's spontaneous.
Exactly. Out of Carnivore Comics, I actually got the number 55 of 400. Nice. Ooh, this is a sub 100 comic right here. This is that Department of Truth number 16. This is that trippy mushroom laced issue. Now I have this issue. I haven't read it just yet. This was like one of the issues from, I think, last week. And I didn't read it. I really wanted to, so I'm really looking forward to knowing what's going on here. But John, this is the kind of art that we're used to. Stuff like this, stuff that's right behind you, right back there. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this mushroom tripped out cover?
Well, the thing about this one, I think, is still kind of in the vein of, I think, the other two that you're going to open up, is that even though more stylistically it might be kind of the more in line with what I do, I still got a chance to kind of do something different, especially for Department of Truth, right? A lot of the variant coverage you're seeing for Department of Truth usually have the Starface Man and the Lady in Red and all of those things, and that's beautiful imagery, but kind of like the dark black and reds and all of those things, which I've been a part of, and I've done it with a few of the Department of Truth covers. But this one I really wanted to like, and this was a great collaboration with Carnivore, Sean at Carnivore, and things like that, and they just let me kind of like it's a I don't want to give too much away with the story, but it is a mushroom induced trippy part of the story, and I really wanted to get that out. And I also wanted to, we also talked about bringing in elements of, Alice in Wonderland and, all of those things too. So that's kind of like, what you're seeing is a mixture of the Starface Man, the Cheshire Cat, as well as, the Woman in Red, kind of like all mixed up in there. So
I see the Cheshire Cat like kind of stylings right here with this guy right here. I can't really tell if that's the Starface Man. Now it's cool. I love what you do with your art because it seems like you draw a layer and then you kind of like layer it back just a little bit and then you draw it, like do another layer right behind it, like of a different color. And I like that trippiness. This is like your distinctive style, John. How did you come up with that? That's what I want to know. Like I'm sorry if it's an industry secret, or if you
no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, not at all. I love, like, I used to always love this sort of like Drew Struzan sort of like layered composition look. He would have, like, especially in a lot of his like movie covers, like, the sort of like big figure, and then you have like these little figures, and the kind of like blending of all that stuff. That sort of like compositional look is always, the stuff that really, like, gets me excited and things like that. So it's kind of like a lot of like homage to, like, that sort of work, in terms of like that sort of, again, the hyper layered setting things back. Because I think the thing is that, if you're not careful as an artist, you just want to bring everything to the front, and bringing everything to the front just makes it, even with that one right there, I was really concerned that everything was just kind of like pow in your face, especially with the colors, the intense coloring and everything like that. So,
well, yes, it is pow. Yes, it is very in your face, but it's awesome. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And like I said, the mushroom trippy inducement. Oh, that's a word. But the mushroom trippiness out of this one right here is absolutely gorgeous. This is a great cover, my friend.
Not to say that I've ever been on any like mushroom induced trips or anything like that, but if you were to see, the Cheshire Cat, it's going to be this sort of like crazy, anamorphous sort of like swirling sort of image. That's what I hear you'll see and things like that. So
I love it. Quick question from Red, and of course this is to me right here. John, can you draw Eman like one of your French girls? I'm just one ability. Just one of these days, just let us know if that's possible.
I totally can. And that would be an honor to put Eman on one of these covers one of these days.
Look at this, Mark. I had to immediately go to a 12-step meeting after unboxing that cover. Thanks a lot.
I've done my job.
Well, let's move on to this next one right here. This one's coming out of the Comic Corner right here. And I know these next two are not your usual styles. These next two covers that we're opening is nothing that we've seen John Giang do in the past. And one of them is just so gorgeous and so elegant in its minimalism that I really want to get to that one. I'm hoping that that's what this one is. And if it's not still, like I'd be happy with whatever when I open up. But
it is not, Eman.
If it's not, then we're still going to talk good about the other one. Because the other one was just as gorgeous too, I thought. Because look at this. Look at the comic. Look how the Comic Corner just sends and delivers your packages, man. It just wrapped up, just like someone said earlier, and I think it was Ephraim from Past Point One. Is just like opening up an unboxing is just like opening up presents during Christmas, man. This is just gorgeous. It's so pretty sometimes, man.
See, the thing is with me is that I'm actually like my unboxings are a little bit more. How do I say? They're a little bit more intense because, I've got like spending issues, and so I'm like unboxing quickly and trying to like hide the goods.
And I'm over here like unboxing in the garage, like no one's here. Like it's not in here. She knows that I can save my time. and just
I
start
love
throwing
it.
stuff around. All right, I'm gonna let you guys see this one. I didn't get to see this one just yet. So let's see which one this one is. This is this is the Stray Dogs one.
Yeah, nice,
This
nice.
one was really dope, and I told you I was like, look, I gotta get this one because this is something that you don't normally do. This isn't the style that we're used to. This ain't the style that you're used to.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. That definitely is not a style that I normally do at all. So,
Can you
um,
why? I want to know why and what came up. How'd you come up with this idea right here?
well, the Stray Dogs variant covers are, as everyone knows, based off of horror movie covers, movie posters, right? So you'll have things like classic movie posters like The Thing, Aliens, Silence of the Lambs, all of those things, more modern and contemporary, that sort of thing. But I really wanted to go back and pay homage to the beautiful, illustrative, classic movie posters. That's from Dracula, from way back in the day. Sort of like the Bela Lugosi, Dracula, and the Frankenstein, and the Mummy, and all of those things are kind of like the Creature from the Black Lagoon. All of those things were kind of like for me, in terms of movie posters, like this golden era. And then in addition to that, I really wanted to layer in the beautiful work that Stray Dogs is doing. The sort of like what I really love about Stray Dogs is that it's this Disney style animation in terms of its comic, but the story is like horrific.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
that's
Um,
the exact word too. I was thinking horrific. It really was. It
yeah,
was very Silence of the Lambs-ish.
and I really wanted to celebrate those two things and put it together. Do you know what I mean? And because I think that I could have totally taken the dogs and kind of did it in my own style, and all those things, which would be fine and be fun and everything like that. But I really wanted to again just you know again really highlight. I don't do a lot of homage covers. Like I try not to. But I felt like this was a good opportunity. It made sense, especially with all of the variant covers that are taking on the horror covers and things like that. And these two covers were, I'll be honest, like from an artist standpoint, they they made me really nervous working on them. And this is also props to the Comics Corner, to Carnivore, to Frankie's, to all the shops that are like really like letting me try different things. And I think that in the next coming period of time, you guys are probably going to see a lot of like different experimentations with style and everything like that. I kind of like to say like I love like these are weird examples, but like Madonna, like Iron Man, like it's always about and Batman, it's always about reinventing, right? And if you
Mhm.
stay too much of the same thing, you're going to be, I think, kind of I don't getting a little bit boring and everything like that. So I really like the fact that a lot of these publishers and shops are kind of saying like, hey, try something different, and I like that. So, but it makes me nervous at the same time. It makes me very nervous. Like I'm like, this is not something that normally is going to be seen. But I also think that I would love to hear from people who are watching. Like, do you guys like it? Does it make you excited to see something that's like, whoa, unexpected, even if it may not, how do I put it? It may not feel that appealing per se. Do you know what I mean? But it is different. You know what I mean? It brings up, I think, a breath of fresh air myself.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you're asking that question because this final cover is kind of gonna go. It's going in that direction for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know in the chat right there. John's asking like, do you like basically? Do you like the fact that he changes up his style? Like, I personally love it. I really do. I love your style. Like, and I've mentioned this before, and I will tell you that my absolute favorite cover that you've done is that Optimus Prime one. But of course, I'm just a huge Optimus Prime fan. But it's literally like that when I first got introduced to you, when you first came on the C-List Villains podcast with us, and I went in, I did my research on you. I was like, all right, we're gonna, interview this guy, John Giang. Let me go take a look at his stuff. The very first thing that I saw was your Optimus Prime one, and I was like, holy crap, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful.
I
Like I
appreciate it.
fell in love with that one first before I saw all your Star Wars stuff, before I saw anything else. That was the Optimus Prime one, and it took a couple of years before I finally found one. I was like, you know what, it's time. Let me add this, and I opened it up a couple of months ago, and I was like, I finally added it to my collection,
I
and
appreciate it.
it's just your style, dude. It's just your style was just so awesome. And then giving us all of these different characters, like right behind you, you have the Ronin, you have Miles, you have Akuma. When you told me, oh yeah, by the way, I'm dropping Akuma, I flipped. I was like, oh hell yeah, But then you went ahead and did this right here. So I'm gonna before I move on over, like right here, like Legion, hell yeah, it's exciting news. Keep them coming. Yeah, Mark hasn't missed one yet. He's purchased every single John Giang cover. He's a huge he's a bigger fan than a lot of us, man. And
Thank you so much, Mark. I really do appreciate it.
One of our boys asked a question up here in our boy Ruby G right here, White Tiger Cool Comic Collected, asked, are you going to be in Oregon anytime soon? He would love to meet you, possibly get a picture. Are you going up to Oregon anytime? Do you know what like
first of all, I love Portland. I have family that lives there, and I will probably be up to the Rose City Comic Con this coming year, barring any sort of like weird scheduling conflicts. A little bit before, you go to a convention, and nowadays with COVID and everything like that, there might be like before there wasn't so many sort of like scheduling problems where two conventions would pack on in the same weekend and things like that. But I think now everyone's trying to catch up, so it's happening more and more. So, but and then the cover work schedule is kind of tough and everything like that. But yeah, I'm down for Portland anytime.
Portland's awesome. Like I've been wanting to go
Portland.
back. My girl and I were like, yeah. I've told her, I was like, it'd be nice to just get out there for the weekend. It's cool. It's just an hour away. You can go there late on a Friday, come back, late on a Sunday, still have like a full day in Portland.
Yeah.
It's beyond Voodoo Donuts. It's beyond the coffee. It's just the experience of being there around the food carts. Portland's absolutely gorgeous. Speaking about my girl, hold on. Please keep experimenting and grow as an artist. We can only stand and benefit from it. That's right there. See, that's wise words from a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's important. Is it's always about like, when you try different things, you find out a lot about your art and yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, you're right about that. You do discover some new things about yourself from within your art. I'm not as big of an artist as you, John. Being creative with our YouTube channels, I totally see that. I do totally see it right there. But Ruby, I'm not in Portland. I'm actually in California. I'm in the Bay Area, my friend. Well, let's get to this final one right here. And I think this is the one that a few of us are really, really excited about. And this is the one, John, that I'm really going to say, like, do me a favor, like, really, really talk to us about this one right here, because this one, like I said earlier, the simplicity, just the beauty in its simplicity is what made this cover just absolutely gorgeous. I don't read this book. I don't read this book at all.
I don't.
Fan following. I see how a lot of people just love this particular series, and it's been going on for a while. I mean, and I brought it up to Luke recently. Like, this guy, he's kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of its time, right? Like,
oh yeah,
super indie, and yet people know him. Like, there's something about this guy. I don't know anything, but when I saw this cover, I was like, holy crap, what did you do? Like, I need to know about this one right here. So anyone who's watching, you guys are ready? You guys are ready?
Let's
you guys are ready?
Some of
you guys are ready for this one. I'm going to go ahead right here.
Yeah, there we go.
There, that Usagi Yojimbo, that minimalistic watercolor. I love his look. Just looking over the shoulder, right at the camera. You have like this. I love it how you have like this little, like this David Mack type right here. Just like the stamp style. John,
hey, if there's ever any doubt where I can go like cheesy, like sort of like Asian theme and all that stuff, I know how to do it and everything like that. Do you know what I
You
mean?
did it just like right on the like looking at your sig for this one. I'm like, yeah, if you see this from a distance, I have bad eyes as it is. Oh, that's a David Mack. Oh, it's not. That says Jane. What in the world?
Yeah, so first of all, I got to give a lot of credit to Kevin at Frankie's Comics. He had been talking to me for a very long time, like, let's do something more traditional, and I think that's always the great thing too, is again just to collaborate with people who are really down for like trying different things. And he was like, let's do something more traditional. And so originally when I did a couple sort of like real quick watercolors to bring to the publisher and the retailer, they were quite a bit more complex than what you're seeing there in terms of like what you're seeing. It was more like it was a negative space reverse. So it was like a lot
Ooh.
of like dark wash, and then I was like pulling out, the back, the negative space to bring out the white of the rabbit and everything like that. Um, and so that's what we turned into to Stan, and Stan liked one of them. And again, credit to Stan, because there's times when I think, um, even doing variant covers, I think what's great about variant covers is that you get to try all these different crazy things and different styles of different artists and everything like that. But I think sometimes there's this mode of trying to like still get into the brand of the character, brand of the publisher and everything like that, where I think Stan, bless his heart, is like, hey, let's try something different and everything like that. So when I did that one and doing the final, I was trying to recreate the more complex sort of like pull from the dark colors, and it just wasn't feeling quite right. And I'd gone through two iterations, and on the third one, I was like, I'm just going to try the most simple, minimalistic sort of brushes, brush strokes that I could try. And then the other thing too is that, like you said, there's that look over the shoulder where it feels very Seven Samurai, that sort of like, you know, that that badass sort of like look that he's giving, and I think that's always the thing that's kind of hard to achieve, is to try to give a lot of like emotion and attitude and posture just in a single image. Do you know what I mean? So without telling a very elaborate sort of like explicit story. So it worked out well. And when I turned it in, I was like really nervous because it wasn't what they approved in terms of a concept. And I was really nervous again that I was trying something different and you guys weren't going to like it. That Frankie's wasn't gonna like it, Stan wasn't gonna like it, and again, it was a little nerve wracking. And when I turned it in, um, I actually got crickets for a bit. That feeling of like there's like no feedback, and I was like, are we okay? Do you know what I mean? And then they came back and they're like, this is great, let's go with it. And I was like, nice. And then it sold well too. So I'm very happy for that. It's hard to ever gain like artistic sort of pushing your bounds artistically, as well as commercially doing pretty well too. So I'm pretty blessed that happened.
So Mark says this right here: the canvas texture on the white background set this all the way off. Now, was this? And I honestly am asking just for clarification, but was this actually done on canvas or was this digital?
It's done on canvas. It's on a
Okay.
watercolor paper.
Another follow-up question for those out there that may want, and I'm pretty sure that there's one or two people that are interested. Do you still have the original, and is it for sale?
I have the original, and I'm holding on to it for now.
Okay, okay. No. That's actually really good because, you know, knowing you do most of your stuff in digital, you actually did one on canvas and it turned out to be just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, holding on to this one right here. If I were the artist, yeah, I would probably do the same thing, you know. Um,
Oftentimes, depending on the piece, I'll have like either some line art or at least some sketches, comp sketches and things like that for particular covers. And some of the key ones, like the Vader, like the Joker from Deceased, and the first Ronin cover and things like that. I'm holding on to some of that original art and things like that just to kind of, as mementos and keepsakes for myself and stuff.
You should. Now, were all those were those done digitally too, or did you do that on a canvas or pen and paper?
Again, some of those have original line art that were painted over and things like that. Some of them are strictly digital. Some of them are a mixture, but some of them do have original art. There's several buyers that kind of like snatch them up. I have like 5 or 6 people who kind of like are good sort of like regulars and things like that. But just for the sake of, I guess, posterity and things like that, I'm holding on to a few just to see what happens and things like that. You know what I mean? If nothing else, I think I actually hold on to a lot of work, even from like elementary school, middle school, and I like to see the growth. You know what I mean? And I hope to see the growth.
Oh well, I'm sure you see. You have to, if anything, show your mom, show your parents. Like, oh yeah, I remember when it was just like this. Now look at you. You're big time drawing for Star Wars and stuff. Yeah, good job, son. All right. So coming from Cardboard Crazies, our boy Chris right here. It's fantastic to hear an artist using art terms. I love it coming from an art teacher, since Chris is an art teacher, but he's got a question for you. He wants to know if do you find yourself wanting to do more digital or more traditional art? You've already answered this. I don't know. But if you can, go ahead and answer again.
I'd love to. I'd love to do both. I think both. I'm not to sound like I'm not answering the question. I'm not trying to cop out. Each one of them have their own sort of like intrinsic nuances and benefits and drawbacks. I love the sort of spontaneity of traditional, and the sort of like just like with the Usagi and just kind of like, the sort of like, I guess, specialness of traditional. But I love the freedom and the ability to adjust and make easy adjustments with like digital and things like that, and then sort of like crazy effects and all of those things. In terms of like my professional work, it's just a matter of like, oftentimes it's just deadlines too. It's like I've got, at any one point in time, like 5 or 6 covers going on in a week, and I just have to make sure that I'm hitting these deadlines. And digital allows me to kind of do that without literally waiting for the paint to dry and things like that. So it's for my professional work, it just seems like that right now, at least as a finishing, digital is seemingly the way to go right now. And again, it might start off with original line art pieces or sketches or and oftentimes it's a mixture too. Whenever I can, I kind of like to just jam in elements of traditional and digital and all of those things, and then layer on some more traditional elements onto the digital. So it really oftentimes is a weird amalgam. I get asked that a lot, like, what is it? Is it traditional or digital? And it's like the NDA face. I just look at people blankly, like, it's actually hard to say. So basically, when I give you the blank face, it's the NDA face or the I don't know how to answer that face. So.
We figured that out now. We figured that out.
Yeah.
Look at that. He even says perfect answer. How kids only want to do traditional art, but they have a hard time. Has a hard time getting them to desire the traditional work or even appreciate, or what he means only do the digital work.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. This one right here, our boy brother John right here. He's like, yeah, I've been listening to this while working. It's been fantastic. But you know what? We're not letting him get any work done, John. This is, Red's asking, are any of those, is the Usagi, have you thought about going, putting that on print? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. We'll see. And things like that, there's a lot of like, sort of like working things out with the publisher and all those things. But, we'll see. I think in terms of just like, also too, at times too, with like, like a variant cover too, there's a specialness to that limited number.
Yeah.
And that limited piece of art that, sometimes you just want to make sure that, again, it is sought after and desired because it is so hard to get a hold of.
All right, we're gonna do one last question before shutting down, John. Again, I don't want to keep too much of your time, but our friend right here, Blue Hellion Comics, our boy Dan, is asking: are there any characters or franchises that you would like that you would enjoy getting a chance to do a cover for that you haven't had a chance to do an official release for?
This is again, sorry to be like the NDA. I don't know how to answer that question face, but literally, like, I've been so blessed because I've gotten to work on so many things. You know, I've worked at Lucasfilm and I got to work on the Star Wars movies and, you know, the Avengers movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and, you know, getting to work on Pacific Rim, and then getting to do all these covers and do like the Turtles and the Jokers and the Vaders, the Star Wars, the Transformers stuff. But honestly, like, I'm just like you guys. Like, I'm such a nerd for this stuff. And anytime, like, I was just having a conversation with a publisher earlier today. Like, you know, there was an opportunity that came up, and, you know, um, my wife's like, hey, like, I thought you were going to take a break and all that stuff. And I'm like, but I get a chance to like work on this thing that's coming up and everything like that, you know? So it's like, it's really, I love, first of all, I love being challenged by doing things that I don't normally get to do, or things that are not synonymous with my work, right? I love doing that. And then secondly, I love doing things that I nerd out on. Like, at some point in time, if like I get to do an official like Voltron My Way cover, or like, you know, like a Gotcha Man, or like, you know, or you know, even work on, you know, one of my grails is to work on a Superman, you know what I mean? Like, that would be, and a Spider-Man. Like, I would love to do the iconic characters too. And it's very nerve-wracking because those are so beloved. And what you want to do is just like, you know, what like a McFarlane did, which is infuse your own style, your own take on the character, but still keep it that character, and keep it, you know, keep all the things that people love about it there, but still do it your way.
Well, you know, you know, the C-list villains. We'll go ahead and, you know, we'll have DC and Marvel contact you about that. Spider-Man. I think we can pull that off. Don't worry about it.
I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it. You know, I hear you guys got a lot of polls, so I'm sure you guys are going to make it happen.
We know people. We know people who know. Forget about it, you know.
I just want to say thanks again for everybody who came out and saw the show, and thanks, Eman, for having me.
I was gonna just say that right there. Everyone who showed up here in the chat, thanks for showing up. John, thanks for showing up. Just in case people don't know, but I'm sure they do. Let people know how they can find you on the social medias right quick, John.
Find me just by doing a search for my name, John, John. The last name is Giang, on any of the socials. I'll turn up on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, all of those things. Also visit my website, www.orbitalharvest.com, and from there are links that you can find me as well. And anytime you want to come out, I know that the world is opening back up. Let's do it safely. If you want to come out to a convention, chances are I'll be there too. So you know, see me there. And again, I'm happy to just nerd and chat comics and art and all of those things. So thank you for again having me.
I love it, John. Thanks for showing up. And remember, you guys, I co-host the C-List Villains podcast. New episodes come out every Monday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on our YouTube channel. Follow us, look for us, the C-List Villains podcast. All right. Thanks to John. Thanks to everyone for showing up. Until the next issue.
Peace, guys. Love you.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the C-List Villains podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and email us at clistvillains@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail or text us at 209-975-7597. Be sure to join Luke Week's Facebook group, Rare Keys and First Appearance Comics. And you can follow us on our 2 Instagram accounts, C-List Villains and C-List Villains Podcast. Lastly, follow the villains on their separate IG accounts, at Luke Weeks, at C-List Villainous Red, at C-List Eman, and I am at AJ the Comic Collector. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next episode.